was hanging by a thread. The entire house was. The Stonewell family was well known for their influence in politics and trade. Generations of Stonewells lobbied for various laws still in place today. They also negotiated numerous alliances with neighboring providences, securing our position as a wealthy and flourishing city-state. Almost every regulation and trade deal in existence within the Gala Providence was either crafted or signed by a Stonewell. Before his death last year, Master Stonewell Sr., Josiah's dad, was working his way up the empirical ladder. He was projected to claim the next empty congressional seat for the entire Confederation of Dassos, but his untimely death left the family struggling to keep up with his shady gambling debts and failing trade deals. Josiah took his place as governor of the Gala Providence, but he was unhappy. The violin he used to play for me, in secret, sat covered in dust at the bottom of his closet, and each day I noticed a broader slump in his shoulders.
"Ashley, we need to discuss a few things before you begin your daily chores," Mistress Stonewell said, while motioning for me to sit. I kneeled at her feet and bowed my head submissively, while she scrolled idly on her tablet. She liked scanning the socialite and gossip columns so she could be up to date on the most recent scandals at mid-morning tea with her friends. "We have an essential family coming to stay with us for a few days," she said, before sipping her tea.
I noticed the wide grin that encompassed her face and revealed her brightly bleached teeth. She was excited about this visit.
"Josiah is working on procuring a very lucrative trade deal between our providences, and it is imperative that this visit goes well."
There were 15 different providences within the empire, each making up the Confederation of Dassos. Each providence had its laws and ways of running things, but the empire governed all trade between them. Josiah was in charge of one of the largest and most wealthy providences in the entire realm. The empire capital was at the center, and each providence surrounded it. The further away you were from the capital, the more at risk you were from attack by scavengers. It was a confusing web of alliances and trade deals. I briefly wondered why Josiah wasn't the one telling me this, but quickly reminded myself that it was because ultimately Linda controlled the house. She relished feeling powerful and wasn't afraid to use her son or late husband as a pawn.
"Master Black and his sister are to be treated with the utmost care. I want this house to be spotless before their arrival. I also want you to prepare only the finest meals available. Spare no expense."
I had access to the budget, as I regularly referenced it when meal planning. I wasn't quite sure how she wanted me to spend money we simply didn't have.
"Also, I think we should convert the basement into your permanent living quarters. It has direct access to the kitchen, which I find to be more appropriate and convenient for your role here. Please be completely moved in by this evening. That is all."
I had my reservations and fears regarding the basement, but knew that arguing would be useless. It was hot and muggy in the summer, and unbearably cold in the winter. Not to mention the shadows that danced in the basement's darkness haunted me in ways I couldn't explain. "Yes, Mistress Stonewell," I replied with artificial respect. The damp and dismal basement was intimidating, and the thought of spending my nights in its scary embrace made me tremble. My current room was an oversized storage closet located on the main floor, but I found it to be comfortable and warm during the winter. I cleared their plates and stole a quick glance at Josiah, wondering what he thought of this new arrangement. Although our eyes met, a stiff smile answered me back. He apparently had no say in the whims of his mother. Honestly, he had no say in anything, not if he didn't want to become a walker like me. It wasn't always this way. The divide between walkers and the elite began decades ago, when Influenza X came into existence. It was a deadly virus that spread like wildfire through our community.